What's Zim? Oh, Zim? Well, okay, the long and the short of it is this. I'd been doing a series called The Angry Beavers at Nickelodeon. I played the voice of Daggett. And Jonan had come to town to do a new show called Invader Zim. And originally, I had interviewed and auditioned for it, and Nickelodeon didn't want to use me at the time because I was already doing Daggett on The Angry Beavers. So after they did the pilot for Invader Zim, The Angry Beavers had ended, and I then was asked to come back again and revoice the person who had done the pilot of Invader Zim. And we pitched it up a little bit, and Nick New York went for it, and the rest is history.
Today, we become the enemy.
I remember when Jonan first pitched the idea of Zim to Nickelodeon, I went over to his little office that he had there, and he wanted to show me what he was working on. And he had all the characters up on a wall, and I didn't really like any of them, except Gurr. He had Gurr in his costume, and I just went right over to him, staring at me with his little beady eyes and green, and I was like, "Who's that?" And then he described to me what Gurr was about, and I was like, "Wow, he's so cool." And then I punched him. No, I came later.
So the question is, what was it like when Jonan hollowed out my body and used my skin as a flesh suit to kind of walk around as the character? What was that like? Is that what you're asking? I quite enjoyed it. That's all.
Jonan provided such a great atmosphere for us to create and just be crazy. And Richard and Andy and Ricky and Jonan and the whole team just created this crazy kind of family environment. We all trusted each other, and we were allowed to be a little crazy and see what comes out. And I don't think it was ever too much.
Just like, I guess whenever you start filming, a little while into it, I'll just come in and be like, "Isn't this great? Isn't this great, everybody? This is great!"
Well, this is the thing. Jonan, he won't want to hear this at all, but Jonan is a genius, basically. And so, anyone in his eyes is like a lowly peon. And, I accept that role. A lot of people think that animation is this combination of a lot of people's efforts, from storyboard artists to colorists to the people that market the show to the people that do the voices. It's really not true in this case. This is entirely Jonan's baby. This is Jonan's inspiration. And so whatever Jonan wants to say about me, do you really say that about me?
Jonan hanging me by the skull with cables. Nickelodeon incurred quite a large expense hanging Kevin and I by the skull with large cables in the studio so we could really get into our characters. And that only lasted for a few weeks, and then Nickelodeon said, no, we don't want to pay for that anymore because, it was getting really, really expensive to be floating us above the floor.
Ah, you seem to have grown since last you stood before us, soldier.
I don't think he had feet. I think he just sort of floated into the front. I went, "What? Jordan?" Not like that. And then from there, he started calling me, and I tried changing my phone number, and he just kept calling.
How did I come to work on Zim? Through an audition process, and my agent and casting director Donna Grillo, who is a friend of mine, and said, you have to try and get on the show because it's whacked, and you're whacked, and you'd be a perfect mix. I believe the legend has it that I was originally cast as Purple, Almighty Tallest Purple. And then they found out that Kevin McDonald from Kids in the Hall was available and thought that he'd be a better Purple and I'd be a better Red, so they did the switcheroo.
Oh, no, that's just sad. Could you get any shorter? You will be assigned a Blorch, home of the slaughtering rat people. Thank you.
People who find me at conventions, or actually had people recognize me for some reason at a restaurant once and pounced on me. It was kind of creepy. But they were nice people. I can only think that sometimes they must be disappointed because I don't sound like her in real life.
Wait, if you destroyed Zim in the past, then he won't ever be your enemy. Then you won't have to send a robot back to destroy him, and then he will be your enemy, so then you will have to send a robot back! I
sound more like Bloaty the Pig, who I did the voice for too. Not when I'm doing this, but when I'm doing.
You eat the pizza!
Jonah would have a very specific idea of how Gur should sound. He would say, "Do it like this," and I would go, "Okay, do it like this." And sometimes, though, I would take it farther than that, especially if it was like in an episode called "Door to Door." There's a scene where Gur was supposed to say,
Why is his head so big?
I think that was the line, and I did it 4 different times in whatever way I wanted. Why is his head so big? And Jonah liked all of them, so he ran all of them together. So now Gur is like he's going, like he's got a glitch or something. That ended up happening a lot. So that was, I guess, my one contribution was multiple inflections.
Did I find doing the voice of Zim hard on my voice? How do I put this? Yes.
What are you hiding, Dogman? Tell me! Tell me! Timmy! Turn back now! Do not invoke the wrath of the Urkin Elite!
I would sometimes have to recoup for a day or day and a half beyond that. And originally we were supposed to do sometimes like 2 episodes a session, and it was just impossible because I'd be like this. But because in general it's like it was more than just actual screaming. If you notice, Zim screams a lot just when he's talking. It's like, Gur! It's never like, Gur?
Evaluation.
Pathetic! Pathetic Earth vehicle!
I am Zim! You! Obey the fist! Those were 2 of my favorites. My favorite exchange of all time of Invader Zim and Invader Zim, the things I got to say over and over again. There was actually just one time I said this, but it was in Rise of the Zit Boy, and it's when the Zit first starts to appear, and I tell Gur to quickly get me the soap, and the soap is wrapped in bacon, and I say, after scrubbing it all over my face, or Zim scrubs it on his face, I did too because I'm a method voiceover person, I said, why was there bacon in the soap? And Gur says, I made it myself! That's my favorite exchange of all time. I don't know why.
Is it supposed to be stupid?
It's not stupid. It's advanced.
I said, well, I just want to kind of put him more up here, basically. Hello, wow, welcome, brave Urkin soldiers. Well, isn't that nice? That kind of thing, and I just kind of more of a very lilting, kind of nasally kind of, wow, Zim, that kind of thing. And then Kevin did a great job, of course, as Purple with his voice way up here, and he's brilliant, he's a genius. He was very fun to watch during the session, so it all worked out.
I'm actually not allowed to ad-lib my lines even now. I feel like when I go to make a phone call, if I'm even to call my folks in Chicago, I call Jonan first to find out exactly what I need to say. No, there is no ad-libbing going on. Every single move, every single gesture, every single, even if I make a face that, I have to ask Jonan first before I do that.
There's nothing in comparison to creating a voice and then seeing a character animated to your voice. There's nothing like it.
That was your fate of the world work? Jumping in a puddle? You do realize I'm gonna have to destroy you now.
It was worth it. Score 1 for the human race. Score nothing for the Zim thingy race.
I will destroy you.
One thing that really, really surprised me about, working on Zim was how good I really was. I really didn't, I thought, hey, I'll just give this thing a shot and we'll see how it goes. I was just constantly amazed with the quality of work that I was churning out and what I was really bringing to the series.
Yes, I think Dib's head is big.
I think anyone's head relative to my actual head is big because I have such a small head. I don't know if we want to model that. But yeah, I have a tiny little head, so for me, anyone's head is big.
Andy's head is big. Maybe bigger.
Oh man, he's sitting near us.
I think actually the idea that Dib was as hated as he was is sort of what I bring to the role, since that's kind of the way that I grew up, not very well liked. And, I think that you get that even from a two-dimensional character.
It's a Bigfoot baby! I know it! Leave me alone!
I think I bring that through, the amount of, self-loathing.
A way to prove that I'm
that I'm crazy.
Okay, now that makes sense.
Man, we almost believed him.
I absolutely feel sympathy for Dib and his struggles. I still do, even now that we've parted ways. I live on essentially as Dib. People don't realize that. They think that everyone let their characters go. I didn't really let my character go. I still, I'm still fighting aliens, and I'm still out there living the Dib way.
If I capture him now, no one will be able to stop the hamster. But if I let him go to fight Pee-Pee, he's just gonna keep on trying to destroy mankind. This stinks. Okay, so if I save Zim, then he'll move on to destroy mankind and upset the balance of the entire Earth.
I mean, Gaz is really smart. She could play a great video game, and she loves piggies. What more do you want?
Quarter circle back.
What?
A transformation move. It's always quarter circle back.
Oh, hey, look at that!
When we die, can I play?
Since I've pretty much worn out my other piggy, a new one would be nice. I won't be as rough with this one.
I love my plush piggy. Piggies rule!
Oh, there it is.
I would love a moose. Oh, and it squeaks.
Is that for me? This is for, that's for you. This is for me. Buddy. Thank you. No, the show hasn't had any impact on me at all.